devotees. So today we are going to discuss we have discussed about the preface in our previous session. So Prabhupada's mood and mission, like I said, Prabhupada wanted students to understand and appreciate the mood, and so this all the participants of Bhagavad Gita must understand the mood of Srila Prabhupada that is given in the preface. So that they can carry on this knowledge with the same mood, same mindset is very important. So the name of first chapter is Vishad Yoga. So you can read from here that knowledge that is manifested by considering one's body as the self, soul, is called Vishad Yoga. When conditioned soul considers his body as the self, then he thinks Deha Dharma, Jati Dharma, Kula Dharma, Arya Dharma, etc. as Sanatan religious principles. And he becomes puzzled by lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. No, why this? I will request all of you to kindly keep your microphone off during this session. Okay. So see, Vishad Yoga is actually explained as where one thinks his body to be his self, but actually we know from Bhagavad Gita that we are not this body, we are soul. This is the first knowledge imparted by Krishna to Arjuna. Dehinosmin yatha dehe komaram javanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhirastatrana mayati. The body is changing from boyhood to youth to an adult person, then he becomes old, and then the body is no more useful, so the soul leaves the body. So the dhira, one who is steady, is not deluded by the changes. So here in Vishad Yoga, Arjuna will be giving some arguments. The arguments will be related to Deha Dharma, Jati Dharma, Kula Dharma, Arya Dharma, etc. He will present Krishna some arguments by which he will try to defend that why he should not fight this battle. He'll try to give some counseling to Krishna, and Krishna is simply silent till Arjuna is surrendered. Karpanna dosha bhavata. Till Arjuna is surrendered to Krishna, Krishna remains silent and he doesn't speak a single word. He remains mute, so that he is listening to Arjuna. And when we read in Bhagavad Gita, the discussions are happening very definitely. Arjuna is mentioning that why he should not kill. The entire progeny will get destroyed. It will bring a lot of problems in the country, in the society. Many people will come, without any shelter. They will lose their homes due to this war. They will lose their family. So he is giving good kind of arguments. Most of the time in Krishna consciousness, we raise this kind of arguments that if I do bhakti, then what will happen to my family? From where food will come? Everyone, sometimes you may hear that people will say, if everyone becomes devotee, what will happen to this world? Who will take care of other responsibilities? So now this kind of arguments are raised by Arjuna. So we discussed there how Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, this shloka. Last time we discussed the significance of Dharma Kshetra. Dharma means religious, Kshetra means field. And analogy is presented by Prabhupada at the end of the purport of first shloka, that as in the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out, in the religious field of Kurukshetra, unwanted plants like uh, Dhritarashtra's son and Duryodhan and others would be wiped out. So this is the analogy given. And Mamaka, my party son. So this shows the blindness of Dhritarashtra and Pandava, the sons of Pandu. So there is some font problem. So please try to take it as per Bhagavad Gita, Sanskrit words. There's some problem of font. So Mamaka, my party, and Pandava, the sons of Pandu. So in same family, Dhritarashtra is discriminating, is bringing division. So Paschata Pandaputrana Acharya Mahatam Cham Virya Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyana Dhimata. So this also we discussed how uh, uh, the battle phalanx was arranged by the son of Drupada, Drishtadumna, and uh, Dronacharya was charged by his own disciple that your disciple have arranged the military phalanx from Pandu's side, and they are going to do their best. So you please don't take any side of Pandus, because already you have done them a lot of favor by teaching them the science. So that is Duryodhan's diplomacy that will be discussed in this unit. The main focus is, the first focus of this unit is Dhritarashtra's material and spiritual blindness. He is spiritually also blind and materially also blind. Second focus is how Dharma Kshetra actually means that Krishna will take out all the weeds from the paddy field of religiousness. And the third focus is Duryodhan's diplomacy. It shows how Duryodhan is not a right person. Whatever is going to come, the conclusion that the Kauravas will definitely lose, that we all have known from Mahabharata, that is very in favor of these Pandavas and very much justified for the Kauravas, because Duryodhan was very diplomatic. So Drupad Maharaj, this was known by Dronacharya that Drupad Maharaj got his son, and in future he will kill Dronacharya. But still Dronacharya, because he is a Brahman, he is very liberal. He is not discriminating between enemy and a friend. He gives shiksha to everyone. So there is a lesson that Brahmanas were meant to be liberal. Prabhupada gives a lecture in London. Brahmanas were meant to be liberal. So when he is coming as a disciple, but still, even if he is going to kill Dronacharya, because Dronacharya has to play a role of guru, he is a pure Brahmin. That is why he has given the right lessons. He have not done any miserness in giving the knowledge. He has given liberally whatever has to be taught to Drishtadumna. So these are some points that we can see from shloka number 3 to 11. First is Drupada Putrena Tavashena Dhimata, Duryodhan's diplomacy. Then Arjuna's celestial weapon and Bhima's vows. Bhima took vows, so that is why Duryodhan was a little bit afraid, because Bhima has taken strong vow of killing Duryodhan. And Maharatha, so he is addressing all these kings as Maharathis, because Maharatha means one who can fight with 10,000 archers and skillful in the knowledge of scripture and weapon. So this is the Maharathi, definition of Maharathi. And Dvija Uttama, the best of Brahmanas. And Sajiartham, this is for information he's giving. So this is a translation. So this shloka we will take from Bhagavad Gita. so that it remains easy to understand. So in this 1.4, we see Atrashura Maheshwasa, Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi, Yudhano Viratascha, Drupadascha Maharata. In this shloka, these two terms, Bhima is mentioned, Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi, equal in the fight. So Bhima and Arjuna. So here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters, Maharathi. They can fight like Bhima and Arjuna. They have that much potency. Yuyudhana, Virata, and Drupada. So example is given. So here purport it's written, even though Drishtadumna was not very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya's very great power in the military art, there were many others who were cause of fear. They are mentioned by Duryodhana as great stumbling blocks. So Duryodhana's diplomacy is very fearful about these great warriors. And he's considering them as the stumbling blocks in the path of victory because each and every one of them was formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. They were very much powerful, very much potent with lot of qualities. So he knew strength of Bhima and Arjuna and thus he compared others with them. So that is why you can estimate by seeing the fear. Sometimes one who is the wrong person, one who is not righteous, he has fear inside his heart. He cannot speak things confidently. He is not very confident about his qualities, or if he is having lot of privilege, lot of power. He is not confident because he is the criminal. He is faulty. That is why when he will go and present, he will stumble. He will be underconfident within his heart and he will fear from people because he is not in right position. He knows that. So Duryodhana's condition is also like this. So Prabhupada mentions that people may ask that by mentioning these great fighters, what spiritual progress we make. So this is the same question asked by Arjuna. So Prabhupada mentioned this is Nirbandho Krishna Sambandhe. Without getting attached in relation to Krishna, we have to work. Nirbandho Krishna Sambandhe, Prabhupada mentioned. Without getting attached to the results, the fruits, we should work in relation to Krishna. We should not work even independent, but we should work for pleasure of Lord Krishna. So Prabhupada writes that because we are meant for chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so by chanting the names of these great fighters, what do we gain? The question may be raised here. But the thing is that Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha, whenever there is connection with Krishna, that also becomes Krishna. So these warriors' name mentioning, we should not neglect. Krishna wanted to gather all the demoniac power on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and kill them. That was his plan. So the plan of Lord is to gather all the demonic power, all the uh, prideful kings, warriors who were not religious, who were not devotees, who do not consider Krishna as God, they are actually demons. So Krishna's plan was to collect all of them together and kill them. So that is why we are reading these names. So this has relationship with Krishna. This is related to Krishna. That is why whatever we do in relation Krishna Sambandha, in relation to Krishna. Whenever we read about Kamsa, Putana, Ravana, these uh, Rakshasas, uh, demons. So what is the use? Simply chant Hare Krishna. We should hear only about Krishna. Why we hear about their lifetime as well? To understand how opulent is Krishna, how Krishna makes bigger plans to destroy these demoniac kings, evil kings. So this is planning of Lord. So somehow, because these people are these personalities are included in plan of Lord, so they are also connected with Lord. So that is why they may help us to remain Krishna conscious. So Krishna consciousness is also understanding the Aishwarya, the opulence of Lord. Not only understand the pastimes which are sweet, nectarian. Krishna is stealing butter. Krishna is playing on the lap of Yashoda. Krishna is taking bath in Yamuna. Okay, these pastimes are there. But to understand the Aishwarya, the opulence of Krishna, we must understand how Krishna killed the demons, how Krishna have subdued Kaliya, how Krishna has fought great battles. Even he has killed so many demons in his childhood. Why he ran away from a battlefield and he was called as Ranchor? What was his plan? So all these things are to understand that how Krishna is Yogeshwara, the master of all mystics. So he can plan anything. He can do anything as per his choice. So sometimes people ask why Krishna did this to me. Because he wants it to do. Because he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. He can do anything he likes to do. So you must not complain on Krishna's plan, but rather dedicatedly try to serve Krishna without keeping any uh, expectations, without keeping any desire of self-satisfaction. But the only desire should be satisfying the Supreme Lord Krishna. So this is called great soul, Mahatma. Like we saw, Mahatma means one who is aligned to the plan of Krishna, who are under the Mahatmavanastu Mampartha Daivim Prakriti Mashrita, who are under the supervision of Jogamaya, the internal potency of Lord. And those who are Duratma, they are under the jurisdiction of Mahamaya, the external potency of Lord. So, one second, I'm sharing the slide. So why Bhishma? Why did Bhishma respond to Draupadi? So Dushashan again grabbed Draupadi's hair and began to drag the helpless princess, who was trembling and crying piteously to her husbands. Pulling herself free from his grasp, she addressed the assembly in tearful words. Wait a little. O worst of men, I have not as yet offered my respects to my superiors. Forgive me. What is the religion of all these kings? O Kauravas, answer me truthfully. Am I Dharmaraj's lawful wife, born in same order to which he belongs, to be considered as a servant woman or not? I shall be obedient to your command. O Kurus, this despicable destroyer of Kuru fame is cruelly dragging me. Tell me what should I do, and I will happily obey you. Bhishma shed tears as Draupadi spoke. He looked at her with compassion and said, O blessed lady, I have said that the ways of religion are subtle. Even wise men find it hard to understand them. Sometimes what a great and powerful man calls religion is accepted as such, even though it may not normally be so. What a weak man says, no matter how moral it may seem, is generally disregarded. From the importance of the matter you have raised, its intricacy and subtlety, I find myself unable to answer you. So Prabhupada is mentioning, he was confident of the full support of Bhishmadev and Dronacharya in battle because he well knew they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all the great generals in the assembly. So I'm coming to this, but before we'll discuss how Bhishma, we see Bhishma is a very great warrior. He is also a devotee. But why Bhishma will be killed in this battlefield of Kurukshetra? Because he remained silent. And he gave a very cheap logic that even if you are speaking the rightful words, if you are a weak person, but he is not a weak person. He's saying that if you are a weak person, you will not be valued. Your words will not be valued. So from this, we should learn that we should speak the truth. We should be on the path of righteousness at any cost. Even if you are weak, even if you are strong. Otherwise, with time, we'll be punished, like it happened to Bhishma. He could have changed the sides, but he remained centered to the Raja Dharma. That is why this is called Bishad Jog. This is so Raja Dharma, Kula Dharma, all this kind of dharma we should abandon for the service of Lord. In service of Lord, we might have to kill our own father, own mother, own family members. So we should be ready. This should be the service. This should be the service attitude. But Krishna is not telling us to kill. He's telling us to kill the demon sitting inside our heart. So that is why in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to understand what is right, what is wrong. Today we are thief, someone is sadhu. Tomorrow I will be the sadhu and someone else with the thief. And this will keep on going. This role of sadhu and chor, saint and swindler, this will keep on exchanging. I am saint today, he is a thief. And tomorrow I will become a thief, he will become a saint. So this role will keep on changing. So that is why in Kali Yuga, nothing is fixed. Everything keep on changing. So there are 5 signs of victory that are mentioned in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna's for the Pandavas. From 14 to 18, we'll read those verses. Festival of fighting by Pandavas. This is the first sign. Madhava. Madhava means, Madhava, the meaning is given by Prabhupada is husband of goddess of fortune. Means Lakshmipati, Madhava. Presence of Krishna, second sign. Third is Dibya Shankham, the blowing of Shankha, which have shattered the hearts of the Kauravas and their army. Mm. And the chariot received by Arjuna from Agni Devata, the chariot was given by Agni Devata, and Kapit Dhwaja, the flag on the chariot of Arjuna. So, who was present on the flag of Arjuna's chariot? Who was present?
Hanuman.
Yes, Hanuman. So, a sign of victory, the ultimate sign of victory. So, we read these verses and go a little fast. Okay. So, this is it. So, here about the great warriors we have read. Now, we will go to shloka number 14. So this sound was tumultuous. The conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpet, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. So this is the festival atmosphere created by the Pandavas. Now, here you see. Tata Sveter Mahati Shandane Sthito Madhava Pandavaschaiva Divya Shankho Pradadhamatu. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. So, Prabhupada gives this purport. In contrast with the conch shell blown by Bhishma Dev, the conch shells in the hands of Krishna and Arjuna are described as transcendental. The sounding of transcendental conch shells indicates that there was no hope of victory for the other side, because Krishna was on the side of Pandavas. Jayastu Pandaputranam Yesham Paksha Janardana. Victory is always with the persons like the sons of Pandu, because Lord Krishna is associated with them. And whenever and wherever the Lord is present, Goddess of Fortune is also there. Because Goddess of Fortune never lives alone without her husband. Therefore, victory and fortune were awaiting Arjuna, as indicated by transcendental sound produced by the conch shell of Vishnu or Lord Krishna. Besides that, the chariot on which both the friends were seated had been donated by Agni, the fire god, to Arjuna, and this indicated the chariot was capable of conquering all sides wherever it was drawn over the three worlds. So here there are the signs of victory was mentioned. The transcendental conch shells. This is the first sign of victory. Then Krishna was on the side of Pandavas. This is the second sign of victory. Okay. And the conch shell blown by the conch shell of Vishnu. Okay. The chariot given by Agnidev to Arjuna. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhanamjaya Pondram Dadmao Mahashankam Bhima Karma Vrikradha Vrikodaraha. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Pondra. So here, this word Rishikesh means controller of all senses. He is the master of all senses. He can control everyone's sense. So, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the definition of pure devotional service is given. Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam Bhaktir Uttama. When one engages the senses in service of master of senses, who is Rishikesh, that is called bhakti. Bhakti is not doing sense gratification. Bhakti means to engage your senses in service of Krishna. For the pleasure of Krishna, you have to engage your senses. That is bhakti. So, here, Bhagavad Gita, why specifically this name is mentioned here? To signify that in this battlefield of Kurukshetra, everyone will use their senses, right? To fight the battle. Their eyes, their ears, they have to focus the aim by seeing, they have to hear the sound from which side, which warrior is going to attack them, and they will use their karmendriyas, the working senses, hands, legs. But who is actually controlling their senses? Krishna is controlling. So they all are actually under control of Krishna. But the difference between the two parties is one party has forgotten this concept and the other party remembers. This is the difference. The Pandavas very well know that Krishna is actually controlling all the armies, controlling entire universe. And Kauravas, they are thinking that I am the doer. I am going to win this battle with my talent, with my capacity, with my capability. So this is the difference. So here, so Panchajanyam Rishikesha. So this Krishna's conch shell is named as Panchajanya. You can remember from this verse. The name of the conch shell used by Krishna is Panchajanya. So from 16 to 18, we can see Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putra Yudhishthara Nakula Sahadevascha Sughosha Manipushpako Kashyascha Parameshwar Saha Sikhandi Cha Maharatha Drishtadyumna Viratascha Satyakis Cha Parajitaha Drupada Draupadeyascha Sarvasha Prithivipate Sobhadrascha Mahabaho Shankham Dadhamo Prithak Prithak. So everybody is blowing their conch shell with their abilities. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell. The Ananta Vijaya, Nakula and Sahadev blew their Sughosh and Manipushpaka. The great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikhandi, Drishtadyumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the son of Draupadi, the sons of Draupadi, and others, O king, such as mighty armed son of Subhadra. Who is son of Subhadra? Abhimanyu. All blew their respective conch shells. So everyone is blowing their conch here. Saghosha dharata rashtatranam hridayani vyadarayat nabhascha prithivim chaiva tumulo abhyanunandayan. The blowing of these different conch shells become uproarious, vibrating both in sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. So the hearts of sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered. They became more fearful. So here Prabhupada writes a very beautiful line. One who takes shelter of Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of great calamity. So this is very important line given by Prabhupada. In our bhajans, our acharyas write, Krishna is Dinabandhu Dukkhahari. Dinabandhu means one who is friend of Dina. Dina means one who has nothing. Everyone left him. Wealth, money, fame, friends, family. Dina is a beggar. Dinabandhu. There is Krishna is Dinabandhu. One who has taken shelter of Krishna. Krishna remains his friend. Dukkha, he takes away all the miseries. Hmm. He's also Abhay. His lotus feet is Abhay, where if you take the shelter, Krishna's lotus feet are called Abhay Charan. Hare Krishna. Okay. Where were you? Where were we? Have lost the connection. Okay. Going to the next sloka. Okay. Atha vyavasthitan drishtva धरतारस्त्रं कपिध्वज प्रवृत्ते शस्त्र संपत्ते धनुरुद्यम्य पांडव ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यम idam महामहीपते. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. So now Arjuna, he took up with his bow and arrow to fight. But now he is saying these words to Krishna. Arjuna is going to speak. The first sloka Arjuna is speaking. So here Prabhupada wrote, the emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna is another sign of victory. So this is the fifth sign of victory in sloka number 20. And the four signs of victory were in shloka number 14. Four signs in shloka number 14 and fifth sign is in shloka number 20, the fifth sign. So Ram also killed Ravan with the help of Hanuman, and Hanuman was made glorious. And this time Arjuna is going to become glorious by winning this battlefield of Kurukshetra, the battle in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So in the similar way Ram killed Ravana, Arjuna is going to kill all these miscreants, all these demons who are against dharma. Arjuna Uvacha. What is Arjuna going to speak now? Senayorubhayor ratham sthapayame achyuta yavadetane nirikeshaham yudhya kamanavasthitan kairmaya saha yudhavyam asmin rana samudyame. So Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. So this purport is very important. We read this purport. Although Lord Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, out of his causeless mercy, he was engaged in service of his friend. He never fails in his affection for his devotees. That is why he is addressed as infallible. And you get this point? Very important. Why Krishna is infallible? He never fails for what? In his affection for his devotees, and thus he is addressed herein as infallible. It's a very important point. As charioteer, he had to carry out the orders of Arjuna, and since he did not hesitate to do so, he is addressed as infallible. Although he had accepted the position of a charioteer for his devotee, his supreme position was not challenged. In all circumstances, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishikesha, the Lord of the total senses, whatever senses you have. The relationship between Lord and his servitor is very sweet and transcendental. The servitor is always ready to render service to the Lord, and similarly, the Lord is always seeking an opportunity to render some service to the devotee. So, we say that whatever qualities Lord has, we also have. So, the serving nature is within us because Lord also has this serving nature. He also wants to serve his devotee. That is why he keeps on looking for an opportunity. Other day I was reading about Narottam Das Thakur. So we'll take a short break from this purport and hear something about Narottam Das Thakur. When Narottam Das Thakur, he took birth, the astrologers said that he should never touch the river. He should never go near the river. Otherwise, he will not stay at home. He was born in very rich Jamindar's house. He was very, very beautiful, handsome boy. He was brought up in so much pampering, lot of opulences. And many times his parents stopped him to going to bank of Padmavati. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, once when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was passing from Kanai Natshala, that time Mahaprabhu was shouting Narottam, Narottam very loudly. And what happened? Nityananda Mahaprabhu asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Narottam? I have never heard any of your associate named Narottam. Nobody is there in this planet named Narottam. Why you are calling Narottam? Is there anyone? So Mahaprabhu said, yes, Narottam is most dear to me. He will come in future to spread this Sankirtan movement. So Narottam Das Thakur, Mahaprabhu left Krishna Prem personally for him in this Padmavati river, and Padmavati river asked Mahaprabhu, how I will recognize Narottam Das Thakur? So Mahaprabhu said, when Narottam will come and take bath in this river, it will overflow. And finally, after Mahaprabhu left, Narottam Das Thakur appeared. We sing these beautiful bhajans of Narottam Das Thakur. So many beautiful bhajans. Kirtan Samrat. He was the pioneer of Sankirtan movement. Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya. These legends came to propagate the Sankirtan movement in West Bengal. So Narottam Das Thakur, he went to this river and took bath and he left home. He didn't want to come back in search of Krishna. And when he was going to Vrindavan, many times his father would brought him back, and they also made him get married. But still Narottam was not happy. He wanted to go to Vrindavan, and finally he left home. And when he reached Vrindavan, before reaching Vrindavan, he became so tired. His legs, his hands become like some old man. Though he was the son of Jamindar, a great landlord, like a prince, he was brought up. But he seemed to be like a very old man. His hands become very rough. His legs become very rough. And Mahaprabhu personally came to deliver milk, a bowl of milk to Narottam Das Thakur in form of a Brahmin. Mahaprabhu came and gave a bowl of milk. And Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami came in the dream of Narottam and said that Mahaprabhu has personally left this bowl of milk for you because you always do one seva in Golok Vrindavan. What you do? You help Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari to prepare the milk glass for Krishna. So Krishna is also personally coming to give you a bowl of milk. So Krishna looks for the opportunity to serve his devotees. This is Krishna's compassion towards his devotees. So when finally Narottam wakes up, he sees that there is a bowl of milk and he drinks that milk. And Mahaprabhu said in his dream that by taking this milk, your body will become very glamorous. All the uh, injuries, the roughness, uh, everything will go away. And immediately Narottam becomes very beautiful. And when he takes bath, his body color changes to golden when he takes bath in Padmavati river. So that signifies that Narottam receives Krishna Prem as it was left by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is a kind of service. That is a service of Lord for his devotees. So that is why we should not think that we are only serving Krishna, but Krishna is serving us in so many aspects, so many ways. So it is written by Prabhupada. He takes great pleasure in his pure devotees, assuming the advantageous position of ordering him than he does in being the giver of orders. Since he is master, everyone is under his orders, and no one is above him to order him. But when he finds that a pure devotee is ordering him, he obtains transcendental pleasure, although he is the infallible master in all circumstances. So Krishna doesn't become angry like us. He doesn't become upset. I am a superior, I am a senior person, and this junior person is ordering me. How dare he is going to tell me? Krishna receives transcendental pleasure. Transcendental pleasure. Why Prabhupada mentioned transcendental pleasure, not only pleasure? Because in this material world, you cannot see a person in higher position taking orders from a inferior person and becoming happy. Material pleasure is not like this. Material pleasure comes when we can dominate others, when we remain in higher position in all the situations, in all the circumstances. But spiritual pleasure or transcendental pleasure means we cannot expect Krishna to get kicks from Arjuna. Arjuna is using his feet to signify which direction he wants to go, right, left, forward. When the warrior is very busy in fighting the battle, how he will instruct the charioteer? Giving signal. He will use his feet, his leg. If he kicks 2 times Krishna, then it will go right. If he kicks 3 times, it will go left. If he kicks 1 time, it will go forward. Like this, Krishna is even to receive kick of his devotee. How merciful he is. So that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went in Odisha, in South India. Then he found one Brahmin, he's crying, reading this Bhagavad Gita. He cannot even read and write properly. And many people will laugh on him. Hey, this is a pretender. He's a dhongi. So Mahaprabhu went there and he asked this Brahmin that, what are you doing? Why you are crying by reading this Bhagavad Gita? So do you know how to read? So he said, I don't know how to read, but my guru has asked me. Vipra kahe murkha ami artha nahi jani shuddha ashuddha Gita purhi guru agya mani. Guru has instructed me to read Bhagavad Gita. I am not qualified to read Bhagavad Gita, but because Guru has instructed me to read, that is why I am reading Bhagavad Gita. Mahaprabhu asked him, then by reading, okay, you don't know to read Bhagavad Gita, you are even holding the Bhagavad Gita in wrong direction. So what you have understood, what you are actually relishing from this Bhagavad Gita that made you tearful? He said, see, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of entire universe, he has become a charioteer for his devotee. Only Krishna, only the Lord, who is the real friend of all the living being, can do this. An ordinary person cannot do this. He cannot become so small. He cannot take up this inferior position. We cannot take. In this material world, no one likes to take inferior position. Everyone wants to be in the superior position. So that is what Prabhupada mentioned here. As a pure devotee of Lord, Arjuna had no desire to fight with his cousins and brothers. Devotees actually, they don't want anything. They are happy getting, some favorable place for doing Krishna bhajan, some devotee association, some little prasadam. They are happy with that. Even if that is not there, they try to do their best to remain Krishna conscious. But here Arjuna, he also not desiring to fight with his cousin. He doesn't want kingdom and everything. But he was forced to come onto the battlefield by the obstinacy of Duryodhana, who was never agreeable to any peaceful negotiation. Therefore, he was very anxious to see who the leading persons present on the battlefield were. Although there was no question of a peacemaking endeavor on the battlefield, he wanted to see them again and to see how much they were bent upon demanding an unwanted war. So Arjuna desiring to go between the two armies to see that who are standing opposite to them, and he will figure out that his own brothers, his own relatives, his own masters are standing against him. The elderly people are standing against him to fight this battle. So now Arjuna will give the arguments by seeing them that why he should not fight this battle. What he will get. He has not come to kill his brothers. He doesn't want to do that. So we'll discuss this in our next class. For now, we are stopping today. Already it's time. So if you have any questions,